If you can, if I can see you online, I can't.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much, Mugdha. So I present to you today Mugdha. This is probably the first time she is representing herself on MHI platform, that is Meta Health International platform. I'm very proud of her. She's a student of mine. More than being a student, she's a very, very warm person. I still remember she called me to do these workshops in Calcutta. I cannot forget the kind of warmth and love that I got in their family. I stayed with her. I opted not to stay in the hotel, and that really makes me understand the family much better and understand people much better. That's my time to connect. And I'm so grateful that she took such brilliant care of me. I understood what hospitality really means. It's like you do it from the bottom of your heart. And besides that, she's a wonderful person. I think she's somebody who has got huge potential to grow, to move ahead in her life. And with the kind of support that you have got today from all your friends, um, that talks about you and your connections. Because if somebody can create connections and networks, they can create business. Business is not created only with money. Business is created when people can connect with people. And Mugdha, you have that amazing knack to connect with people. Continue holding that together and continue doing what you do the best. That is connecting people. And continue connecting your CA. She's also a CA, guys. She's also somebody who is into alternate healing. So over to Mugdha. Thank you, Mugdha, for taking my invite. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for this platform. And even you know that this means a lot for me because I'm taking this as a beginning of a new platform, a new career for myself.
Absolutely.
So I'm
Absolutely.
very grateful to you and you being my mentor, my guide. Continuously, I'm having that immense support and blessings from you, which has actually helped me nurture myself and I give a lot of credit to you for who I am today.
Thank you so much for acknowledging. I'm receiving. Remember what Vinaifa said? Receiving is
Yes,
enough.
ma'am.
And
Yes.
had I met her a year back, had she said all this, I would have said, "Oh no, don't talk about it like this." No, but today I will accept it because she's just said, "Accept and receive." But acknowledge yourself, Mugdha. None of this can happen without you wanting to do it.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I
I
could have
acknowledge
called up
myself.
50 people and said, please take the slot, because our speaker of the day had a difficult situation at her home. Her cat fell down from the seventh floor and is badly injured, and she couldn't be today on the spot. And so I called up Mugdha and said, Mugdha, there's an opportunity. Will you take it? And this kid braved it and said, yes, I will be there. And brilliant. You know, I always say, somebody drops out, somebody opens up another door. There is never a situation when someone is just there by an accident. There are no accidents in this world. There are no coincidences. You were supposed to be there, Mugdha. So make the most of it. Weave your magic. This platform is yours for as long as you want. Go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk about patterns of life. So, have you ever wondered that you are giving the same reaction to different kind of situations, or you have the same situation with different people? Sometimes in life you're feeling stuck, but you have no solution to it. And sometimes our behavior is so compulsive that even if we don't want, we are reacting in a certain manner. And then we question ourselves, why did we do that? What is happening to me? All these answers, all these questions sum up to one basic thing, and that is the patterns of life and bridging the gap between the ask and receive from our parents. So, let me begin with a story. Um, this girl was a firstborn to her parents, and she was pampered, loved, and taken care by everybody around. her mother nurtured her, cared for her, and was around, but she was very busy with the family and the responsibilities. At the age of 4, she had a baby sister. And obviously, if a baby is born, the attention of the mother shifts to the newborn because the newborn has to be taken care. This made the girl feel that she was unwanted or she was unseen. She felt abandoned. Now she would try to please her mother or try to get her attention through tantrums, or she would just ask her mother, like, give me attention or whatever it is. But as she grew up, she understood that this portion of her life had become a deep seated fear in her of losing someone who's very close to her. And this became a pattern in all her relations, be it her friends, be it her family members, whoever she would get close to, she would experience the same feeling. So imagine at the age of 4, having this deep seated feeling and then repeating her patterns till she grew up. She grew up, she had friends, she liked someone, somebody liked her, but in every relation, she ultimately made this as her pattern. Now this girl realized that there has to be something more to it, because this was something constantly making her feel aloof, making her feel very lonely, and making her feel as if it was the end of the world for her. But she then discovered that her relationship with her mother had to be healed. And this came with a deep introspection, with a deep introspection of her life, of the patterns, of the events, the chain that happened in her life. And she started working inwardly. She started working on herself, more of self love, more of therapies. And ultimately, at a point, she genuinely forgave her mother. She started being friends with that feeling, that 4-year old, with where she had lost that feeling of that connect with her mother. Now this girl completed her chartered accountancy, she became a therapist, and now she's helping so many other people around. So if you're guessing, then yes, this girl is me. This is my story of how I understood what patterns are, of how it impacts us in our lives at every stage, at every intervals. Now, this topic is very close to me because it was something that I have experienced, and that is something that I see people experiencing around me. And this comes from our childhood, it comes from the relationship between our parents. When we are born, our parents give us everything. They give us name, they give us money, education, lot of love, care, a lot of sanskar, our family traditions, values, everything. But the 4 core needs that a child needs is to be seen, to be heard, to be understood, and to be accepted just the way the child is. And if any one of those core values are not available or are not fulfilled in that childhood, becomes the reason of a pattern which we suffer, or through which we create circumstances in which we suffer. For example, there is this child who's born to a family, and they have a belief that girls are not supposed to study, or girls are supposed to do household work. Even if when this girl is growing up, she she wants to do something which
We can't hear you. I think you muted yourself. Mukta, I think you've muted yourself.
hello.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, ma'am. It got disconnected.
No problem. Go ahead.
Okay, so now when this girl is born in a family where they have a lot of rigid values, where they have a value that the girl is not supposed to go out in the world. She's supposed to take care of the house, groom the house, and everything. As she is growing, she's creating those patterns. So even if this girl gets onto a career where she is very successful, where she'll be minting a lot of money, a lot of name, fame, and prosperity, this girl will never accept the feminism in her. She'll always be very dominating. She'll get to that point in her life where she will want to uh, rule the rule the world just in order to defeat the values of the parents which she's not accepting. Now these situations happen in all of our lives just because we are broken pieces at some place in our life which we are trying to resolve from other people externally. Now, these external people can be our life partners, they can be our friends, they can be our kids. But ultimately, if we don't fulfill ourselves at a point, we cannot even seek from the other people. So, these patterns of our life explain that this is the place where we have to work on ourselves. This is the place where we actually need to work on us and resolve the situations with our parents, with our own self, to live a happy and a fulfilled life. Thank you.
Okay. So, any questions, guys? Any questions from Mugda? Anything you want to ask her? Can we open the forum to questions, Mugda? Yeah. Okay. So, any questions, guys? The spin drop silence. What happened? Okay, Mugda, I have a question for you. So you're talking about this girl who went and became a therapist. Yes. Yes. Go ahead. Please ask the question, Sakshi.
Yes. Yeah, hi. So, like she said, that there are these girls who aspire to become something in life, but from their childhood, they are asked to do a certain thing. She's been grown up saying that you're meant to do only this, and sometimes it feels that there are other things when we grow up we see and we want to fulfill our dreams, and but we I want to understand that how a person decides, is it okay, is it bad to go against what you've been taught from your childhood to fulfill your aspirations in life?
Could you answer that,
Uh,
please? Thank you.
okay. When a child is born to a parent, okay, the child has a different value system or a aspiration to become someone, but parents mold that child into someone which they want to. So that tiff between the child and the parent as the child is growing up results into this. It's never wrong that you want to become yourself, but it is just that the parents don't understand that the unfulfilled portion of them cannot be fulfilled by the child, and that child is also getting that unfulfilled portion of itself, which when the child is growing up he's seeking, to get it fulfilled by other people around. So when you're growing up, you want to become something, obviously listen to your heart, listen to whatever you want to become, and it's very okay to go against something which you don't believe in.
Okay, but how do you connect to your parent at this point of time? How do you make them understand about how you're feeling right now, or what you want to be and why you want to be? How can you convince them?
Okay, so at one point in life, you actually feel that nothing else is working for you, but there is some analysis, there is some introspection that you do for your own self, and that introspection leads you to a lot of answers in life of where you are not able to work or where obstacles are coming into your life, which you have to actually discuss with your parents. If they actually understand, it becomes a support system for you. But if they don't understand, then yes, you have to take a stand for yourself. You have to move ahead. You have to search for some therapies or some kind of a help that will help you come out of it. And once you feel that yes, that is something which is working for you, that will get you out of it and help you grow out of it and achieve whatever you want.
Wonderful. Anybody else has a question?
Thank you.
Thank you, Sakshi, for that question. Guys, any other
Yeah.
question? Yes, go
Hi,
ahead.
Buddha.
Hi.
Yeah. Just wanted to know, as a parent, like how we can understand these patterns. Like, I have two beautiful daughters.
Yes.
So, like, what is the way we, as a general person, how I can understand those patterns? Like, what I'm doing right, what is wrong?
So see, as when you have given birth to your kids, okay, you have a certain mindset. My kids should be like this. They should grow into beautiful human beings, earn, have fame, get name, live a happy life. Okay, but that is your mindset. Your kids already have a learning which they have come into your life for. Okay, and that learning has to be acknowledged and understood by the parent. So once you understand that okay, this is how my child is and this is how my child wants to grow, the give and the receive, the ask and the receive between the parent and the child can be balanced out. Now there are four important things that your child will ask from you, right? That is, you see the child, you listen to the child, understand, validate and accept the child. Okay, but other than that, there is nothing your child wants. If you are giving them these four things, they are being whole, they are being complete. So whatever they do in life, they'll be successful. So every child has their own learning, every child has their own understanding, which has to be acknowledged, and not making them just the way you want them because you feel it is right. So if you are understanding, acknowledging and being aware of your child's growth, your children will be amazing human beings.
Wonderful. There is a
Buddha.
Darshana, why don't you unmute yourself and ask yourself this question? Thank you. Darshana, why don't you unmute yourself and ask the
Yeah.
question?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Hi, Anu. Hi, Mugdha.
Hi.
Firstly, thanks for the forum. So I wanted to understand, what is the means to change the pattern? Apparently, what I see is there is a particular pattern which probably, when I look back, my grandparents even reacted in a particular way or thought in a particular way. And similarly, I see my, dad, my brother, and myself reacting or thinking in a particular fashion, which apparently I feel should change because it is somewhere not giving in happiness when I'm reacting in a particular fashion. So how can I stop that pattern? Because I would not want the same thing to continue to the next gen.
Okay, so this is a very interesting question, and this is a very powerful question because through this you can heal your generations, your ancestors, as well as the generations which are yet to come. So, what happens at this point when you are understanding and acknowledging this fact that you have a certain pattern which is repeating and you would like to change? That acknowledgement itself is the first step towards the change. The second step comes where you understand that what happened in your childhood, from where this started in you. And also, there are certain patterns which we mimic from our parents. We accept it because that is how our society and our parents are conditioned. We are told, "ऐसे करना ही सही है." This is how you should be living. This is the pattern of your life. This is something which should go on in your life in order to be successful. The way we accept the good things is the same. In the same manner, we are accepting some things which are not so good for us. So these pattern comes under that. After your acknowledgement, when you check your childhood from where it began, at that point you have to start forgiving yourself for accepting it, and then your parents for um, um, carrying it forward from your ancestors. And at that point, you start changing it. And hence, in your next generation, it won't show up.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you. Anybody else for a question? So Mugdha, I have a question for you. When you healed your relationship with your mom, what changed for you?
So after I healed my relationship with my mother, I started accepting myself completely. I started accepting my feminine part completely, where I would not be very dominating, which before that or prior to that, I would love to dominate. I would love to be in the center of everyone's world. But after that, I started being more into myself. I started acknowledging the fact that, okay, this is how my life is and this is how I want to take it forward without expecting any attention from external sources. And that started growing into a beautiful career. I cleared my CA final exams. Every obstacle that would make me feel bad started turning into a stepping stone for me to move ahead. And when I resolved things with my mother, I became a very good cook, because that is something which I had to learn from her. So these small changes and the changes in my life, which made me who I am today, happened
Wonderful.
only after I healed my relationship with my mother. And in this, constantly my father has been a very strong support and a guide. At every moment, whenever I needed that support to believe in myself while doing this process, he was there. So at one point, I balanced my relationship with both my parents. And then my life started floating easily. And that is when I realized that acknowledging both the parents make your life very beautiful.
Absolutely. Wonderful. And what changed for your sister?
For my sister, again, she resolved her relationship with both the parents, specifically my father. There, she built her career into finance, which she was always longing for, where she wanted to be a very strong person, act as a son. But now she's accepted that, yes, being a daughter also, she could take care of her business, of her career, of her parents. And that is what changed for her.
Wonderful. So there is another question, and the question is from I am Pragya. Pragya, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question? Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Hello. Yeah. Hello, Anuji. Hi, Mugdha ji.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask how do we realize कि we have been following this pattern? कैसे हमारा behavior? I mean, how do we realize that because this behavior is the result of the pattern that I have been following, or because there is a pattern and I'm not able to realize why my behavior is like that?
Okay. As we are growing up, if you have noticed in our families, it's often said, she's like her father, she's like her mother, or he's like her father, or maybe grandparents. Um, that that acknowledgement that, okay, वो उसके जैसा है या वो उसके जैसी है, is the first place where you start absorbing the qualities of your parents or your grandparents. Okay. The second thing is, in a given situation, if you are reacting in a similar manner, which you would not have liked if your parents would have, that is a point when you can realize that, okay, this is the chain of pattern or chain of reactions which I am doing, which is not mine, but I'm mimicking from my parents. From the age of 0 to 4, we are absorbing everything from our parents, knowingly or unknowingly. And after the age of 12, we start displaying that in our daily activities as we are growing and everything. When we are in the teenage, we start resisting it, that we don't want to become like our parents. But at the end, you tend to become, or you just tend to mimic the life of your parents. And that is the age after 25, 26, you would realize that you are somehow becoming like your parents. And even if at that point you are not realizing that this is a pattern that is impacting you, then you must check that there'll be something which is repeating in your life with different people other than your family, maybe your friends, maybe your business, maybe the people whom you have just met. And that is a pattern that you have to concentrate on.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Any other question?
I have Darshana this side.
Yes, go ahead, Darshana.
So Mugdha, is there a means to start patterns as well? You know, maybe certain things that I feel that I would want to adapt and would want the generations to adapt in future, right? So is there any age or, you know, that I can start a pattern and ensure it gets followed? I mean,
So,
does it happen?
see, for the child, it starts from the conception. So, as soon as the child is conceived, all of it starts. But for an adult, the moment you are very conscious about it, the moment that you realize, okay, this is something that I need to change, you need to start working internally on you. And hence, it would not get transferred to the next generation. And the change is something that will anyways come because it is from the inception. And if you want to teach your kids who are born, who are already like, 4, 5 years or within the age of 12, then consciously doing the same with them will help them learn it.
Right. Thank
Because
you.
children learn more from the parents than what you teach them.
Great. Thank you.
Wonderful. Any other questions?
Hi Mugdha, this is Teji. My question is, you said that you can break the patterns and you say you have to observe. Is observation the only thing or there is more to the healing? Conversation, observation. What else does one need to do, or do you need to go? Can we do it ourselves, or we will need always some help from experts to manage this?
Okay, this is very beautiful as a question, because when we reach to a level when we realize we need a solution to a particular situation, we start finding a lot of answers on Google, or we just start exploring any therapy or anything that comes our way, so that we can overcome it. But what I would suggest is the first step is acknowledging it. When you have observed it, acknowledge it. Okay, this is what I am going through. Now, what is next I am supposed to do? Now, the next step always is to understand where do you want to take this to. What is the change that you want to bring about, and then yes, consult someone who's experienced in this field. Because when you're consulting the other person, they could guide you and make your life easier and better than you going through this on your own for years and then finally finding a solution. Because the people who are learned, the people who are into therapies, they have also experienced or gone through a lot of learning, because of which they are there. So taking a help from a therapist is always a good idea. It makes it easier for you. And if you're doing it on your own, it might take a little longer time, but the choice is yours.
Wonderful. Any other question? Any other question?
Yeah, hi, Sakshi again.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so like you said, we eventually become, or we follow a pattern at a certain age, like what our parents are. So, for example, I've been resenting a kind of pattern that my mom has been following, and suddenly, recent year or two, I've been realizing that I've become like her. I'm doing the same thing what I've been resenting for so many years. So I am confused if it's right or if it's wrong, if it's natural, and I still believe it's not right. I still resent me doing it. So is it possible for me to heal from it, and or is it important I need to heal? I need to ask my mom to heal, and then maybe I will heal. So how does it work?
Okay. So the first thing you have to understand, Sakshi, is what you resist will always persist. So there is something about your mother that you would not like, but eventually it becomes yours because you're giving too much energy to it. And once you are resenting your mother, that means you are not able to accept a part of you. We are half of our parents, right? Half of our father and mother. So when you're resenting her, that is, you are resisting a part of you. In order to make that change, firstly you have to accept, okay, this is what I am doing, but okay, now I'm ready to change it. Then you have to start forgiving yourself and then heal your relationship with your mother. Taking a help of a therapist is always better because it becomes a little easier. You get to focus on a lot more portions of your life. If you do it on your own, you would be expecting changes from your mother, which is not possible. So if you are healing yourself, you will help your mother to also heal, and eventually you would not mimic her anymore. If that
Oh,
helps.
yeah. So, is there any session or any therapy only for understanding that, how you can heal yourself? Because at a certain age, it even becomes like a behavior. Like you said,
Yes,
that
yes,
there's a
yes,
part of me that I'm resenting,
yes,
but it
yes,
is actually me.
yes,
So, is it possible to even heal now after so many years? Because we
yes.
get used to it.
So at any time that you begin, you can heal yourself. It's never, age is no bar to this. Anytime that you are ready, anytime you acknowledge yourself, you are ready to heal, and that is another turning point for your life. And also there are a lot of therapies which you can choose that you resonate to. Like I have done Bachelors, I have done Meta Health with Anu ma'am. So both of the combination of both of this is really helping me in every area of my life. So Meta Health teaches me the reason behind any disease or any discomfort in my body, and Bachelor helps me with the emotional reason of it, that of how I can heal the emotions and then heal my life. So if you are trying to choose any therapy, you must understand which therapy or what kind of a person you are, and you can relate to a certain thing, and then explore that. And if you want some help in that, I'll help you with it.
Wonderful. Sakshi, we're going to be having a healing session right after this session by
Okay.
Devaki, and she's from Bangalore. So hold on, guys, and wait. I mean, we have another brilliant speaker who's going to be giving you some healing today. So we opened up a Pandora's box, and then now we have somebody who can help us in taking it step further. So that's the whole idea, that people utilize this to move further. Devaki, I'm just requesting you to share, go on my Facebook and share on your Facebook. We've gone Facebook Live, so your friends can also see you on the Facebook. Thank you, Devaki. Okay, any more questions? Any more questions?
Yeah, Mugdadi, I request you to cite some general to specific, examples wherein I can check I'm following a certain pattern, or anybody can check that they are following a certain pattern with their kids or with their husband, that they should not, they should stop following that. Maybe from, they're getting it from their parents, or as you told just before the speaker, you just told her you might be following from your parents. Can you just cite some specific to general examples so that I can understand it more thoroughly? What are the basic patterns that we are following?
Okay, so a very an example which we would quite often see around us. Okay, when a child is growing, the child has a lot of demands, right? The child wants to explore everything, and the constant reply from the parent would be, "Don't do this," "You don't touch that," and maximum replies that come from the parent is "No" and "Don't." Okay, as the child is growing, the child starts responding to the parent in a similar manner, that is, "No, I won't do it," or "I'll do it later." That child starts procrastinating. So if you can understand, it is a pattern which a parent gives it to the child and the child gives it back to the parent. As this child grows up, this child will not want to explore anything new. Okay, anything which will be new will be very discomforting for the child, because he's always heard no and don't when he was trying to explore something. um, if you are understanding something, I mean, if you can respond.
Yes, yes, yes. Definitely, I got
Okay.
it.
Yeah, so now when this child is growing up, he has to take decisions. Okay, so again, this person will look for a lot of answers from the parent or the friends around. Okay, now this no and don't has come to a certain level where he is not even decisive, and we expect a child to be very decisive at the age of 20, 24, that okay, now you are grown up, take your own decisions, become independent. But have we actually worked on that child in the childhood to give him that strength at that age to become independent or take their own decisions or believe that okay, they can do it or explore something new? It's a very basic thing that we are following, right?
Yes, yes,
No, don't, and
definitely.
everything. So this is something which a parent can change, when they are growing with the child, and understand that they are not the teachers to the children. They are learning from the child. So acknowledging that child and learning from them has to be the first lesson for the parent.
Okay. Yes,
Wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And if you have any feedbacks, it will be most welcome. Please put it in the chat so that Mugdha can read the chat and can see how you found her session. Could you please write down in the feedback in your chat boxes so Mugdha can actually look at that feedback and can actually understand how that felt, and people on the Facebook could do the same. Thank you, Mugdha. Last time I'm asking anybody, last question? Last question?
Yeah,
Anybody?
maybe I can ask. I
Okay,
was just
go ahead.
okay. Hi, Mugdha, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Great, great. So you know that we have a 2-year-old at home, me, Shilpa, and all.
Yes,
So I think it
yes,
is not very late. So do you want to give us a
yes,
very general tip? I have been a rebel. Initially in my life, I was very shy. Then I was a rebel. Then
yeah,
now I try to be with my parents. So maybe I may not want my kid to be my type. So is there
yes,
anything particular we should take care while raising? I think I can manage now. He's 2 years.
yes.
So anything.
So, the most important thing that I would really love if the parents can follow is, don't try to raise your child with an image that you have in mind. Try raising your child the way your child wants to grow up.
Hmm.
That is number one. Number two would be like, learn from your child, whatever your child wants to teach you, and then help him grow. So there are a lot of children who would love to eat when it is 12 in the noon. But as per you, the child should eat at 11. Don't force that child. Give him food whenever he wants to eat. Teach him whenever he wants to learn. Again, you would say that discipline would be hampered, or that child will become, would do things on its own wish. But it's not like that. When you're teaching that child actually starts understanding you and will respond to you, will not react to you. And if a child is not reacting to you, that is the best achievement you can have, because the child will grow in a better manner. So if you can just follow this one thing without getting agitated, then yes, I think that's the
Nice.
beginning to it.
Wonderful,
Superb, superb.
wonderful.
Thank you, Mugdha.
I'm really, really happy all of you are writing down the messages and feedbacks. Kanjusi mat kare, please likhe. My speaker is calling up on the phone. Yes, Devaki, we are rolling you next. We're rolling you next. Yeah, I'm rolling you next. So that was the speaker on the phone, and I'm trying to coordinate the Facebook, the phone, and everything together. So God bless me. One thing that 130 sessions did, I became technology savvy. If all of you would share on your Facebooks, from my Facebook, you have to go on Anu Mehta, have a look at, or you can go on Mugdha's Facebook and have a look at her program going on there and share it on your program, on your windows, it would be great. All you could do is go on Mugda's Facebook or on my Facebook and share from there. And you can call it the watch party. That way, so many more people and your friends will be able to see whatever Mugda has just spoken. So I really, really acknowledge each and every one of you. Picture abhi baki hai mere yaar. We have another speaker. Devaki. So, Devaki, thank you so much for being here. Mugda, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you everyone for being
Thank you,
patient.
thank you.